So hey, this is the outside uh, version of the Flow with Tarot segment on the Magic in Motion YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm outside walking, and I already pulled the card just so I could carry one card, so I didn't have to carry the whole deck. So I pulled the Six of Pentacles. So let me. All right. So this is what we're working with. So, with the Six of Pentacles, what I feel, even right now, with this card, is that we need to be reminded that we get to determine what our standard is. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by we get to determine what our standard is? Our standard of existing, our standard of being, our standard of speaking, our standard of dreaming, our standard of taking action. Okay? All of that standard is tied into our identity, right? And so when it comes to what we accept and what we allow, it all starts with us. Okay? We get to say, I don't accept that, or I accept this because this is in alignment with my standard. Even when it comes to you extending your energy to other people, whether it's energy in your time, energy in the form of your money, energy in the form of your words, you get to set the standard and say, I am going to extend my energy to this in this way because this is my standard. When we talk about settling, oftentimes we automatically think of settling in the form of what we receive. But we can also apply that to what we give. And so I'm trying to think of an example that I can use to illustrate this. So when you give, let's say that you have a standard. Well, first, let's start with receiving. Let's say from now on, your standard of receiving is to simply do that, to receive and just say thank you. For example, when you are receiving a compliment, so from now on, you set the standard that when someone gives you a compliment, that your standard is now, you're just going to say thank you. Whereas before, you would have an excuse. You would say, so for example, if someone said, hey, you look nice today, or you have on a nice dress, and instead of you saying thank you, you would say, oh, I've had this thing forever. Or I've had this dress forever. Or you would say, oh, this dress is old. Instead of just accepting the compliment. Even if someone gave you money, okay? That's energy as well. Instead of you saying, oh, I appreciate the coins. I appreciate the money. Whereas before you said, oh, no, you don't have to do that. Now your standard in accepting is to say thank you and to keep it moving. Where you can also apply that standard in the way that you extend your energy. So, for example, here's an example. Let's say someone invites you to a party, or, someone invites you to, I don't know, an event. And you decide your standard is, I'm going to be at this event for 2 hours. I'm going to extend my assistance for this time frame, and I'm going to honor my time frame. And when my time frame is done, then I'm going to stop. I'm going to head out with no explanation. You are extending your energy. You're giving, but you have a standard into which into the way that you give. You're not settling in the way that you don't settle for what you receive. You're not going to settle in the way that you extend your energy by not honoring yourself. When you don't honor yourself, again, and I know I keep saying this, whether it's receiving or giving, when you are not honoring yourself, you are settling. You're settling for crumbs. You're settling for something other. If you are giving and receiving and it's not aligned with the standard that you are now living from and living in, you are settling. So I feel like with this card, this is a beautiful card. I feel like with the Six of Pentacles, that's what we're being reminded to do, is to set our standard in receiving, in the way that we give our energy, and to be reminded that when we go against that, we're settling. Okay? And we didn't come here to do that, because to settle is to just survive. We came here to thrive. We came here to thrive. All right? So, okay. Yeah, let me know what your takeaways are in the comments. Let me know what you think about the Six of Pentacles. And we are going to keep moving through our tarot deck.